The story of the 1996 5 pesetas coin, La Rioja, España, a cultural treasure from Spain's peseta era in the heart of Madrid, at the historic Fábrica Nacional de Moneda y Timbre, FNMT, Spain's royal mint. A tiny aluminum bronze coin was born in 1996 under the reign of King Juan Carlos I. This was no ordinary 5 pesetas piece. It was a circulating commemorative coin dedicated to La Rioja, one of Spain's 17 autonomous communities. Engraved by the skilled hands of Begoña Castellanos Garcia, with collaboration from Esther González Pastor, this coin was created to celebrate Spain's rich regional diversity at a pivotal moment in history. Spain was modernizing rapidly after the Franco dictatorship, embracing democracy under the 1978 Constitution and preparing for full integration into the European Union. The euro was on the horizon, introduced in 1999 for banking and 2002 for cash, and the peseta, Spain's beloved currency since 1868, was living its final golden years. Hello, friends. Welcome to Vault of Old Coins. Here we bring you the oldest, the rarest, and the most mysterious coins from around the world. Do you want to know which coin is worth millions? Which coin is hiding one of history's biggest secrets? And which coin looks ordinary today, but could make you rich tomorrow? So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's open the Vault of Old Coins. The Spanish government launched a special series of 5 pesetas coins in the 1990s, honoring each autonomous community. The goal was simple yet powerful, to foster national unity while proudly showcasing the unique culture, history, and heritage of every region. La Rioja, the smallest autonomous community by population, around 315,000 people even today, but a giant in global prestige thanks to its world-famous Rioja wine, received its coin in 1996. Over 674 million pieces were minted, an enormous number that made it one of the most common coins of the late peseta era. It was not a rare proof or collector's edition. It was meant to be spent in everyday life, from bustling markets in Logroño to tapas bars in Haro. The M mint mark on the reverse proudly declares its origin in Madrid's mint. Now let's dive into the front, obverse, and back, reverse. The two faces that tell La Rioja's story like a beautiful postcard. The front side, obverse. The obverse features two iconic landmarks of Logroño, La Rioja's capital. On the left stands the majestic Porch of Revelin, Puerta del Revelin, a grand gate built during the time of Emperor Charles V, Carlos V, in the 16th century. It is the last surviving part of the ancient city walls that once protected Logroño from invaders. To the right rises the elegant tower of the Church of Santa Maria de Palacio, a stunning example of medieval and Renaissance architecture with its pointed spire reaching toward the sky. These symbols represent La Rioja's deep historical roots, from Roman times through the Reconquista and into the golden age of Spanish Empire. Above and around them, the simple yet proud lettering reads, España 1996, reminding everyone that this region is an inseparable part of modern Spain. The design is clean, elegant, and instantly recognizable, a perfect blend of history and national pride. The backside, reverse. Flip the coin, and you enter the living soul of La Rioja. A graceful dancer balances on tall stilts, zancos, captured mid-performance in the famous Danza de los Zancos, Dance of the Stilts. This is no ordinary folk dance. Every July 22nd in the small village of Anguiano, performers in traditional bright costumes and 50-centimeter stilts twirl and leap through the narrow streets in honor of St. Mary Magdalene. It is a breathtaking spectacle of balance, joy, and ancient tradition passed down for centuries. To the right of the dancer, a lush bunch of ripe grapes hangs, the very heart of La Rioja's identity. The region produces some of the finest wines on earth, with the Denominación de Origen Rioja label recognized worldwide. The lettering proudly declares La Rioja at the top, 5 pesetas below, and the mint mark M. The plain edge and lightweight 3-gram, 17.5 millimeter design made it perfect for daily circulation. The coin was officially designed and engraved by Begoña Castellanos Garcia, a talented artist at the FNMT. Some catalogs also credit Esther Gonzalez Pastor as co-engraver. These women were part of the Mint's team of expert engravers who turned cultural symbols into miniature masterpieces. King Juan Carlos I, the father of modern Spanish democracy, oversaw the entire series as Spain healed from its past and looked toward a united Europe. The coin was made in 1996 for a very special reason: to educate and unite Spaniards. As the country prepared to say goodbye to the peseta after 134 years, these regional coins reminded citizens that Spain is stronger because of its diverse regions, from the green hills of La Rioja to the beaches of Andalusia. La Rioja, famous for its vineyards stretching along the Ebro River, its historic monasteries like San Millán de la Cogolla, a UNESCO site, and its warm, hospitable people, finally got its moment in the national spotlight. The coin was struck at the Fábrica Nacional de Moneda y Timbre, Royal Mint of Spain, in Madrid in 1996. The primary engraver and designer was Begoña Castellanos Garcia, a talented artist born in 1967 who worked as an official engraver at the Mint. Some references also credit Esther Gonzalez Pastor as a collaborating engraver on this or related issues. These skilled women turned cultural symbols into miniature works of art that millions of Spaniards would handle daily. The broader reason for its creation was political and cultural. After Franco's long dictatorship ended in 1975, Spain adopted a new democratic constitution in 1978 that recognized 17 autonomous communities. To strengthen national unity while celebrating diversity, the government authorized a series of 5 pesetas coins, one per region, in the 1990s. La Rioja's turn came in 1996. King Juan Carlos I, who had guided Spain's peaceful transition to democracy, appeared on many coins of the era, though this particular piece focuses entirely on regional identity rather than the monarch's portrait. The series helped Spaniards feel proud of their local heritage, just as the country prepared to abandon the peseta for the euro. Technical details that make it special. Composition: aluminium bronze, 88.4% copper, 5% nickel, 5% aluminium, 1% iron, 0.6% manganese. Weight: 3 grams. Diameter: 17.5 millimeters. Thickness: approximately 1.8 millimeters. Edge: plain, smooth. Mint mark: M for Madrid. A massive 674,168,000 pieces were minted, an enormous quantity that ensured it circulated widely across Spain. There are 2 subtle varieties: the common normal rim, square top 5 in the date, about 96% of coins, and the scarcer wide rim, round top 5, about 7%. Even the wide rim version remains very common. Now, turn back to the obverse. The 2 buildings shown are deeply rooted in Logroño's turbulent past. The Puerta del Revelín, Revelín Gate, is the last surviving monumental entrance to the old city walls. Its construction began in earnest after 1521, following a dramatic siege during the revolt of the Comuneros and an attack by French forces under General Asparot. Emperor Charles V, Carlos V, ordered stronger fortifications to protect this strategic crossing point on the Camino de Santiago, Way of St. James, the ancient pilgrimage route that brought thousands of European pilgrims through Logroño. The gate's grand arch, imperial coat of arms, and robust design reflect the power of the Spanish Empire at its height. Beside it stands the tower of the Church of Santa Maria de Palacio. This beautiful temple has layers of history going back to the 11th to 12th centuries. It was rebuilt and expanded during the Gothic and Renaissance periods, with contributions from noble patrons like Don Rodrigo Alfonso de Medrano. Its elegant spire and interior chapels have welcomed pilgrims for centuries. The church sits directly on the Camino de Santiago, making Logroño a vital stop for those walking to Santiago de Compostela. Together, these landmarks on the coin represent La Rioja's role as both a frontier defender and a spiritual crossroads of Europe. Continuing from the vibrant imagery on the coin, let's step deeper into the living traditions and historical layers that make this small aluminum bronze disc far more than just pocket change. The Danza de los Zancos, Dance of the Stilts, featured on the reverse, is one of the oldest and most thrilling folk rituals in all of Spain. Every year on July 22nd, during the festival of Santa Maria Magdalena, the patron saint of Anguiano, 8 young men from the village's oldest families strap on wooden stilts nearly 50 centimeters, about 20 inches, high. Dressed in colorful wide skirts and traditional costumes, they descend a steep, narrow cobblestone street while spinning and leaping at dizzying speeds. The dance is both exhilarating and dangerous. One wrong step could mean a painful fall on ancient stones. The origins of this tradition stretch back at least to 1603, when the first written record appears in municipal documents. Some historians believe the stilts originally helped locals navigate the muddy, snowy terrain around the upper Najarilla River Valley. Over centuries, the practical tool transformed into a sacred performance offered in honor of the saint. It symbolizes balance, courage, community spirit, and the eternal cycle of life, much like the vineyards of La Rioja that must endure harsh winters to produce world-class wine. In 2003, Anguiano celebrated 400 years of documented history for the dance, and the tradition continues unbroken today. Remarkably, in recent years, a young woman named Adriana became the first female stilt dancer in over 4 centuries, unbroken today. Remarkably, in recent years, a young woman named Adriana became the first female stilt dancer in over 4 centuries, breaking gender barriers while honoring the past. The bunch of ripe grapes beside the dancer is no mere decoration. La Rioja is Spain's most prestigious wine region with its Denominación de Origen Calificada, DOCA, Rioja status, dating back to 1925, one of the oldest in Europe. The Ebro River Valley provides perfect soil and climate for Tempranillo, Garnacha, and Graziano grapes. Monks in medieval monasteries like San Millán de la Cogolla, a UNESCO World Heritage Site where the first written Spanish words were recorded in the 10th century, began cultivating vines here over 1,000 years ago. Today, Rioja wines are exported globally, winning international awards and symbolizing Spanish excellence. By placing grapes on a national coin, Spain told the world, "This small region punches far above its weight." Today, in the international collector market, this coin's monetary value is humble. With such a massive mintage, a standard circulated example is worth only about $20 to $60 US. Even uncirculated pieces rarely exceed $100 to $3,000 US. There are 2 minor varieties: normal rim, square top, 96% of coins, and wide rim, round top, about 7%, with the rarest versions slightly more valuable in perfect condition. If a coin has a mint error, it means there was a mistake during the minting process. When coins are made, machines produce thousands or even millions at a time. Sometimes, a small error occurs during this process, and that very mistake can make a coin one of the rarest in the world. For example, if the coin has a double strike, meaning the design is stamped twice, or an off-center strike, where half the coin appears blank and the other half has the design. Sometimes a coin is made with the wrong metal, or errors like die crack or die break can make the design look unusual and unique. Coins with such errors are produced in very limited numbers. That's why collectors around the world are constantly searching for them. Throughout history, some of these coins have sold for thousands to even millions of dollars. Sometimes even a small error can make a coin auction for $1 million. So if you have an old coin, examine it carefully. It might not be an ordinary coin. It could be a rare error coin that could change your life. Because sometimes, a tiny mistake becomes the greatest fortune. Some common minting errors include off-center strike. The design is slightly shifted to one side. Weak strike. The image or lettering appears faint or blurry. Die crack. A thin line or crack appears on the coin-clipped plancher. The edge of the coin is cut. Potential value of these errors. Normal coin, $20 to $60 minor error, $1,000 to $300,000. Clear and well-defined error, $7 to $8 million or more, very rare cases. Important. Since this coin itself was minted in very large numbers, its errors are generally not very valuable, unless they are extremely clear and unique. One or two sensational eBay listings have claimed prices as high as thousands of dollars for ultra-pristine or possibly misstruck examples. But these are exceptions driven by hype rather than true rarity. Most collectors treasure it not for millions, but for the story it carries. A snapshot of Spain just before the euro changed everything forever.